almost ready for the Lion's Den, but I have a special surprise for our gala sponsors, Troutman Pepper and Grant Thornton. Sean Denham from Grant and Chris Miller from Troutman have no idea what's in store for them. Let's just wait. All right, we're gonna pick them up on the street and we're gonna take them to the secret location of the live Lion's Den. Hey Chris, Sean, come on, hop in. We're almost late.
Where are we going?
Hey, I got a special secret for you. All right, so you all have been incredible supporters of PACT and the Capital Conference for I don't even know how many years, but Troutman Pepper and Grant Thornton are synonymous with our gala. Hold on just a minute.
So we're doing the Lion's Den.
We're doing the Lion's Den.
I didn't think we were doing the Lion's Den.
Oh yeah. We've got 3 amazing companies ready to pitch to a group of 5 lions. And we're gonna have a great audience watching it live with some incredible audience engagement. But we gotta find it first because we're running a little late.
Do you know where we're going?
I think so.
And they're all there already?
They are all there, ready and waiting.
Well, sorry we're late, Dean.
I'm
I couldn't find Chris, and we just ran into each other on the street.
I'm so glad you guys could do this. We are not gonna have a live audience. It's gonna be socially distanced. It's gonna be safe.
Dude, did you try Waze? Where are we
Yeah,
going?
I'll
No.
look it up on my phone.
Yeah, Sean, look
Well,
at
I don't have the address. I just have the cross street. But I think this is it. This is definitely it. Okay,
This does look familiar.
we're gonna be a little late.
So what's new?
They'll wait for us.
They gotta wait for us. We're the gala sponsors.
I think we're here.
We are here.
And we're here.
God,
There we go. Good job, Dean. You got us here on time.
Good.
Ready? Almost there?
It's right around the corner. Come on, hurry up.
I can't wait.
This is it?
Yeah, we're here. We're here.
Oh, we're here.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh my
Cool.
gosh.
I've never been here before.
That was a little bit of a ride.
That was a ride. I got a
Told you
little
I'd find
nervous.
it.
Yeah.
Got us here.
We did.
It was
All right.
touch and go for a while.
Boy, I really appreciate you making the time to be here in person. Yeah, it's a little bit of a different year, but as I said in the car, you both and your organizations, Grant Thornton and Troutman Pepper, have been synonymous with PACT, the Capital Conference, and most importantly, the gala. You know, we don't have that many people here today to present the Lion's Den, but we wanted to make sure that you were here especially.
Well, thanks for having us, Dean. Obviously, this is really important to both of us. We've been doing it together for a long time, and we wouldn't miss it.
And although we're not going to be having cocktails tonight, I did bring a seltzer for the event here today, so I'm excited.
But
You
not
know,
one
you're
that you
supposed to
can
bring
share.
one for everybody.
Well, listen, you know, this year has been different, but different in a really good way. And as you know, we employed a number of different technologies to make sure that the connectivity for the audience was in some ways even better than when it is live. And we've seen that, and we're gonna see that tonight because the live engagement portion of the Lion's Den is gonna be a lot of fun.
Oh, that's great. This is a terrific setup, and I think everybody's really going to enjoy watching it. Great companies, I heard.
I'll tell you, we had 48 companies and we're down to the final 3.
Well, the content's always great throughout the conference, but the Lion's Den, that's it for me. I love it.
So we're about to get started, but Chris, your firm has a new name.
Yeah, well, Pepper Hamilton's been a sponsor of this forever, but now with our combination with Troutman Sanders, it's Troutman Pepper, but the tradition continues. We're still going to be sponsored and still loving the Lion's Den.
Fantastic.
And we're still Grant Thornton.
There you go.
Well, let me thank Grant Thornton and Troutman Pepper, our gala sponsors. It's time to get started.
Can't wait.
Do you think Chris and Sean were a little nervous when I picked them up on the street? Well, I can tell you I was, because I wasn't really sure where I was going, but we got here. All right, it's now time to talk about the audience participation, your participation. So new this year, throughout our Capital Conference series, we gathered your feedback on all 48 presenting companies. And you were terrific and gave us incredible feedback on the companies that presented over the course of the last couple of weeks. I will tell you that the quality of companies shows through in your ratings. Over half of the companies that presented received some of the top ratings. And I'll tell you what, it is made it really hard for the Lions to figure out who to bring into the Lions Den. There were companies like FLX Solutions, Forward Lane, HR Soft, ANAONO, PipiSips, Rackware, tons of companies with high ratings. And that is exactly what we do at the Capital Conference. We narrow a huge field down to the top 48, and it's now time, almost time, to reveal the top 10 and then the top 3. But your participation is not finished. We are going to utilize menti.com, and right now you can visit menti.com and enter the 7-digit code on your screen. During the presentations, you'll be prompted to share your perspective on the final 3. What would you do if you were a Lion? Would you invest? Would you pass? Or would you look for more information first? We look forward to your participation, and we'll share more on it throughout the program. Now, I'd like to introduce our newest Lions Den sponsor, Bank of America.
Good morning. I'm Debbie O'Brien, Market Executive with Bank of America. Bank of America is excited to become a founding leader of PACT and to sponsor the Capital Conference today as part of our commitment to expand job and advancement opportunities in tech and innovation for communities of color. We look forward to working with cross-sector partners to solve Philadelphia's most pressing challenges. Here's a brief video highlighting our commitment.
The racial and economic disparities that have long existed in this country have only been widened by the coronavirus and amplified by the most recent acts of injustice. People around the world are coming together with greater urgency to demand action. At Bank of America, we know we all have a role to play to overcome the very real consequences of systemic racism and inequity. This includes individuals, governments, nonprofits, and the private sector. Racial equality and economic opportunity are deeply connected. That's why Bank of America has committed $1 billion over 4 years to address critical gaps in affordable housing, access to healthcare, employment and job skills, and the resources small businesses need to succeed. We can do more, and we need to do more now to further advance racial equality and economic opportunity for all.
Thanks for tuning in, and enjoy PACT's Lions Den.
Now, let's reveal who made the top 10. Let's first go to our healthcare room with EY.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Zoom call. I'm a partner with Ernst & Young's Life Science practice in Philadelphia, and we're happy once again to sponsor PACT, and more specifically, the healthcare tract, which again this year has really come through with a great list of presenting companies for this track. And now I'd like to announce the 2 companies from that group that were selected to be in the top 10. And again, the top 10 will be further narrowed down this afternoon. So these 2 companies are Algomet RX and Paralabs. So congratulations to those 2 companies, and really to all the participating companies, as it really was a great group.
Now, let's go to our technology room with Fox Rothschild.
Hello, everyone. My name is Terry KERWIN. I'm a partner at Fox Rothschild. We're a full-service law firm with offices across the country, focused on startup and early-stage companies, including technology companies. And we're here today to review the technology track companies for the PACT conference. And for the technology track, there are 2 companies that were selected for the top 10 of the Lions Den. And those 2 companies are HR Soft and Malbec. So congratulations to HR Soft and Malbec.
And finally, let's go to the early stage room with Morgan Lewis.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Brian Slough. I'm an attorney at Morgan Lewis & Bockius, located in our Philadelphia office. Our Philadelphia office is our founding headquarters and our home to our global firm. While we're a global firm that works with companies across industries and sectors, We have a strong focus and commitment to early stage companies and investors investing into those types of companies. And with that, we are a proud sponsor of this event. Now, here are the 6 companies that made it into our final 10. ANAONO LLC, congratulations. DREAMVU, GeoSpock, My Virtual Vet. 2 more of the early stage to make it into the final 10. Next up, Mayota. And last but not least, People Joy.
That's our top 10. What an incredible roster of companies.
Hi, I'm Ira GUBERNICK, and I'm chair of the corporate practice group at Cozen O'Connor. Cozen O'Connor is a national law firm with 31 offices and over 760 attorneys who are very much dedicated to the entrepreneurial space. We're happy to co-sponsor this session of the Lion's Den with Bank of America and RSM. We're also pleased to offer the services of Cozen O'Connor to the Lions. And without any further ado, on to the video.
Welcome to the 2020 Lion's Den. COVID couldn't stop us or even slow us down. Now in our 6th year, the Lions have committed over $5.5 million on stage to 14 companies. And now our Lions are in their hunt for the next big idea.
Enter the Lion's Den. PACT Lion's Den. Now, meet our Lions. Rudy Carson, Managing Partner, Kirani Capital.
Execute on the customers. Customer satisfaction will get you the investors, will make the employees happy, and will make you millions of dollars. It's all about execution on the customer.
Paul Melchior, Operating Partner, Stripes.
Starting a business today, no barrier to entry. All you need is your parents' credit card and you got an AWS account, you're a SaaS company. So it's not about the technology, it's not about the product, it really is about you. What I look for is the street fighter, the grit, the determination, the true leadership. What can you do to build a company? That's hard.
Larry Barron, CEOI Pipeline.
I'm looking to back somebody who is passionate about what they're doing, well-studied, understands the market, can manage people, understands the value of the dollar, and ultimately cash is king.
Holly Flanagan, Managing Director, Gabriel Investments.
My advice is to know your financials, understand your capital needs, and be able to articulate why you want the capital you're asking for. And be sure of yourself.
Jonathan Brassington, Executive Vice President, Digital Customer Experience, Capgemini North America.
As an entrepreneur, keep in mind that we're betting on you and not just the idea of your company. We want to see your authenticity and your passion demonstrated in how you present your business story.
Our Lions are on the hunt for the next big idea. Are you ready to enter the Lion's Den? PACT's Lion's Den? Moderator Mark Litterman. General Partner, New Spring Capital.
All right, Lions, we've got 10 great finalists. We've got DREAMVU, My Virtual Vet, Mayota, ANAONO, GeoSpock, Algomet RX, HRSoft, Malbec, PeopleJoy, Paralabs. We've got to come to a decision. Who are the 3 companies that you're going to let enter the Lion's Den?
Some great
I got to
companies.
tell you,
Yeah,
absolutely. You look at the videos of these companies, it's an amazing diversity of healthcare, tech companies. It just shows really good for the region. I'm super excited.
And some products.
Can we bring all 10 in?
Not going to be able to get all 10. You guys see, look, the decisions get tougher. We got to first get to 3.
Getting to 3 is going to be hard.
Yeah.
Look, just to make the final 10 is a
it's
high
a
bar for
big
these
challenge.
companies. So we can't go wrong with any of the companies we select, but we've got to narrow it down to 3. Are we good?
Let's do
You guys
it.
are going to do this?
Let's go.
All right, let's go. Wow, we just saw our Lions. What a great group we have lined up for this year. I can't wait to see the 5 of them in action in the Lion's Den. Well, we've just seen who the top 10 are. Now, let's find out who the final 3 are. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm very excited to be here today. My name is Mark Letterman. I'm a general partner and co-founder of New Spring Capital and have been involved with the Lion's Den as the moderator of the Lion's Den since its inception over 5 years ago. It's my honor to represent the Lions this afternoon to announce the top 10 finalists for participation in this year's 2020 Lions Den, and for the 3 companies and the entrepreneurs who are going to actually brave the Lions Den. The top 10 companies for this year's 2020 PACT conference for the Lions Den consideration are Algomet RX, ANAONO, DREAMVU, GeoSpock, HR Soft, Malbec, My Virtual Vet, Myota, PeopleJoy, and Paralabs. Congratulations to all of you on being named the top 10 company. Like I said, the competition was very steep, and you all should be very proud of yourselves because it was a hard job to get there. And we have a great representation of both early stage companies, technology, and healthcare companies represented in that group. And now the 3 companies that are going to be asked to present, if they're brave enough to go in front of the Lions tomorrow, will be first, DREAMVU. Congratulations. And our second company is ANAONO. Congratulations. And last but not least, Myota. Congratulations to the 3 of you. Thank you all for your hard work and for being part of the conference this year. And again, we wish we could have all 10 companies in the Lions Den, but thank you again for your participation.
We're about ready to jump into the Lions Den. And new this year, we want your feedback. What would you do? Would you invest? Would you pass? Or would you look for more information? You can visit menti.com and enter the 7-digit code on your screen now to prepare to participate in the Lions Den. We'll come back to you later to give you the audience's feedback.
Enter the Lions Den. PACT Lions Den.
Welcome to the 2020 PACT Lions Den. Of course, in this post-COVID world, we are doing the Lions Den a little bit differently this year. We're filming it here in a studio in North Philadelphia as opposed to live as the capstone section of the conference. But nonetheless, it's going to be quite exciting. We had a great group of 48 companies partake in the conference this year, and the judges, Lions, had a very tough time narrowing it down to a group of 10 finalists and ultimately to the 3 companies that were brave enough to enter the Lions Den. I'm Mark Letterman, and I'll be the moderator of the Lions Den again this year. And we're very excited to have our Lions who are volunteering to partake, and as well as the 3 entrepreneurs who are brave enough to enter the Lions Den. Just a couple of quick ground rules. As in the past, each company will come and present in about 15 to 18 minutes. They will do their pitch in about 6 minutes or so to the Lions. The Lions will then have a chance to ask the entrepreneur numerous questions to understand their business better. And ultimately, the entrepreneur will make an ask of the Lions. And the Lions will attempt to negotiate a deal with that entrepreneur if they like the company. In the past, we've been very fortunate to see that multiple companies in most years have received offers, and many of them have taken and consummated those offers, and we hope that's the case today. But we don't know. We're filming this live, so anything can happen. So with no further ado, I'd like to invite our first entrepreneur into the Lions Den. We have Mark Davidson, the Chief Revenue Officer of DREAMVU.
My name is Mark Davidson. I'm a Philadelphia native and Chief Revenue Officer of DREAMVU. After graduating from Penn State with an engineering degree, I've spent the last 20 plus years growing technology companies in roles including product management, marketing, sales, and general management. For the last 2.5 years, I've been focused on early and growth stage technology startups. Earlier this year, as I was finishing a successful exit as CEO of an embedded software company, I was introduced to DREAMVU, and very quickly I realized this was my next endeavor. I've been with DREAMVU since April, and every potential customer I've engaged understands and appreciates the brilliance of the DREAMVU solutions. My passion is finding innovative technology and ensuring that it's packaged and positioned for huge growth. I focus heavily on product strategy, market selection, and go-to-market. Make sure that our customers understand why they need our solutions and how to deploy them. At DREAMVU, we're delivering the most complete 3D vision solutions for autonomous systems.
Hey, Dad. Congrats on doing what you do. Every day you continue to impress me with how similar we are and how much I look up to you from what you and your sister and grandma went through and to the life you've given me. I just want to say thank you, and I'm very proud of you. And I'm at college now, and it's thanks to you. So I love you, and I miss you, and I'll see you soon.
Mark, come on in.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Lions, for the opportunity to present to you today. Again, Mark Davidson from DREAMVU. And I'm going to talk to you about DREAMVU, the company. We are the leaders in omnidirectional 3D vision systems. There's 3 key points I want to leave you with today. Number 1, DREAMVU is going after, this is a product sample, DREAMVU is going after a very large and expanding market in robotics, warehouse robotics, industrial cleaning robotics. 2, there is a very large unsolved problem that exists in robotics, and that's in sensors, camera sensors and other types of sensors. We solve it better than any company in the world, and we do that with patented technology and trade secrets. The third thing is we monetize with both high margin hardware, again, as an example of one of our cameras, and recurring revenue software. Those are 3 really important points I hope I can communicate to you today. Robots, because of COVID, because of e-commerce, robots are ready for mass adoption. We see volumes growing to well over 1 million robots per year just in the industrial and commercial setting, not including domestic robots like Roombas, those sorts of things. But the problems are the sensor stack, as they call it in the robot, is the second most expensive subsystem in a robot, and it's very cumbersome. The sensors are what give the robots the ability to see as a robot's maneuvering around a warehouse, to be able to detect an obstacle, avoid the obstacle. Today, our customers are doing with lots of inferior sensors, narrow field of view cameras, LiDAR, proximity sensors. It's complicated, it's expensive. And because of our products at DREAMVU, we're simplifying the sensor stack for our customers, and they're responding. As I mentioned, we have a hardware product, we call it PAL. And then we have our software. So what you're going to hear today is about a complete solution. It's very easy for our customers to take advantage of. It's very easy for our customers to reduce the cost of their sensor stack, which allows them to increase the volume of the robots they're selling because the ROI is greatly improved. So a complete solution provided by DREAMVU. So here's a real life example of how we've helped a customer simplify their sensor stack. On the left, without PAL, before our product was involved. On the right, with PAL. So we're taking them from 30 sensors total down to 7. We're saving them $2,000 in their bill of materials because of this simplification, and we're making very high margin on 2 of our PAL cameras in this situation. So dramatic impact on their time to market, their bill of material costs, while we're getting a huge benefit in hardware margin, plus, of course, the recurring software to run the algorithms that they have to run anyway. They need these algorithms, so we're figuring out how to generate that additional revenue for DREAMVU. So it's all about the customers. What are the customers saying? The list that you see here is a small sample of customers that have purchased evaluation kits from us. So, it's one thing to say that I had a meeting with Amazon. It's another thing to say that Amazon bought 7 of our evaluation kits, spent almost $40,000 just to evaluate our technology because they were so impressed by its capabilities and wanted to truly make sure it delivered on the promises we've made. Amazon now is figuring out which of their autonomous mobile robots for warehouses, which programs they're going to be putting PAL and PAL Minis into. So we see Amazon as a very large and real opportunity. Again, these are customers that have paid to evaluate our technology, and the list goes on. Our pipeline grows every day. There's a very new and lucrative opportunity for us. As a result of COVID, great amount of attention on disinfection robots, especially UV disinfection. But the challenge is you can't turn UV lights on if a human's present. UV light is dangerous for humans. So we use a single PAL unit, and you can see that this is a render. This isn't a production, it's not in production yet, but it's a render of a single PAL sitting on top of a UV disinfection robot. And it'll tell the robot if a human's present. As a matter of fact, because we're a stereo sensor, that means we can accurately calculate depth. I know how far away the person is. If the person's 4 meters away or further, it's okay to to leave the UV lights on. It's not dangerous. If they come inside 4 meters, there's a danger zone. Now the UV lights have to turn off. Single solution. We've already have two design wins, and our pipeline is very large just for this new opportunity that wasn't really present before. PAL it's patented hardware, and what makes us unique is the mirror, we call it the coffee filter mirror. It looks like an upside down coffee filter. That's what allows us to create stereo vision from a single CMOS sensor. So what does that mean? That means we have no moving parts, low cost, low power. Our competitors, they use 2 sensors, 4 sensors, many CMOS sensors in order to generate stereo vision, kind of like our left eye, right eye. We do that through innovative optics and then software. So patented and protected through software. Robotics is our initial market. It's growing rapidly, but as we win that market, we see the opportunity to expand in other use cases. We see that there's a $100 billion TAM just for a smart camera sensor like ours, and we'll grow into those market opportunities. There is no competitor in our space. If you want to do 360-degree, today you're using a non-camera based solution, LiDAR, laser, etc. They have issues. If it's not a camera, you can't actually recognize an object. All the other cameras are non-360, which means it would take 4 Intel RealSense cameras just to almost cover the field of view that we provide with PAL. So we're in rarefied air there. 2020, in spite of not being able to travel, has been quite a challenging year, but we're making great progress getting design wins, selling evaluation kits. We have a strong P&L, complemented both with hardware and recurring revenue software. So DREAMVU will be a fast-growing and highly profitable business. And we can spend more time on this afterwards. Got a strong team. We're moving the company from San Jose to Philly. Our lead investors here. Here we see Philly as a great place to be. So our ask. So our initial round was $2 million. That's closed, led by 3 Capital through a note. We're in a current round of $1.5 million, also led by 3 Capital again. We have $500K committed. We have $1 million available, and as you can see, $15 million cap with a 20% discount in the following round.
Great, thank you, Mark. And before we go to the lines, let's cut to the audience to get their feedback.
All right, we are live here with Lions Den sponsor Ira Gubernick, the chair of the corporate practice at KERWIN. Ira, before I get your feedback, I want to go to the audience first just to prep them. Again, menti.com. The code is on your screen. It's also in the YouTube chat. It's 6714586. We're going to capture your live feedback. Let me go back to Ira here. Ira, what did you think of the pitch?
So we're live now, Dean? We
are live, Ira.
Okay. Listen, I think the technology is the future, and you know, they're early stage, obviously, but this it looked to me to be a great project team. They're going to be local here in Philly, and I would be all in.
I think you're taking the mirrored technology a little too seriously, Ira.
I'll be back. I'll be back, Dean.
I also want to thank and recognize our sponsors for sending out some gift boxes. If those of you enjoying those at home were among the early registrants that got some coffee and even a bag from KPMG. So appreciate that to our sponsors. Let's go back and see what the audience thinks, Ira.
Thanks.
All right. So on a scale of 1 to 5, the audience seems like they're pretty interested in investing or pretty darn close. All right, let's throw it back to the Lions and see what actually happens. Mark?
All right, now let's get back to it. Lions, you've heard the pitch. You've seen the ask. I'm sure you've got some questions for Mark.
Can I take a look at that?
Please, I'd love for you to. So what you want to look at is the shape of the mirror, and then if you look inside, you can see there's a single CMOS sensor, there's a lens, and then the sensors inside the body. Solid state, simple electronics, and molded plastic. The shape of the plastic and the sheen of the mirror is what makes it special, but a very simple product to design. And then this is the USB version. And this is the USB version.
And the patents that you have, how many did you say you had?
We have 3 patents total.
And is it all on the hardware side, or is any on the software side? Or?
Yeah, so the patents are purely on the hardware side. The software is, we're just relying on trade secrets to make sure that.
What exactly is the software?
Yeah, so there's what we'll call the base software that allows you to generate the panorama, 360 panorama, and then what's called a depth map. And that depth map is really what the computer cares about, to know that that's a table that's 1.2 meters away. That base software comes with our camera. But then there's advanced algorithms. So if you're designing an autonomous mobile robot, you have something called obstacle detection, obstacle avoidance, ODOA. That's licensable software for us. And what that does, that takes that depth map and it shows the robot which path to take to avoid obstacles. What's the most efficient way to get from point A to point B without hitting an obstacle?
Does a customer have to buy your software?
They don't have to buy our software, but they have to use this obstacle detection, obstacle avoidance software.
That is a fairly busy market, right?
It's there's some open source that none of our customers are using. Usually what our customers are going to do is they're going to build it themselves or they're going to buy it. And none of the software that exists today is designed for a single 360 panorama.
And
so that's our
out of all the PACTs you have out there, how many include the software?
Of all, sorry?
Of all the PACTs you have out there, the $40,000 PACTs you're talking, how many have the software?
Yeah, so when we sell an evaluation kit, you get access to that software stack through the evaluation kit on a limited license. So everybody gets to experience it, but nobody's licensed it yet because we're really just now going to commercialize.
And when you look at your revenue stream, is most of that being generated from the hardware?
It is, yeah.
Okay, and what % would you say is the software?
I could show you the way I have the P&L modeled. In 2021, we have, I'm modeling 4 complete software licenses, $250K a piece. And the reason why I price it at $250K, the license goes to the R&D team. Okay, so if you're an R&D leader, you have to make a decision. Do I rewrite the ODOA software, which is going to cost me $200,000 and take 18 to 24 months, or do I just license it from DREAMVU? So the way we modeled it, and but what you'll see is the moment we deliver that software for you to develop on, we're going to start the licensing, where hardware revenue might be delayed by 6 or 9 months by the time the robot goes to production.
Mark, is this the last round of funding that you'll need to get profitability?
We want to do a Series A early next year, kind of Q2, Q3 next year. I think we're going to need to scale with that Series A to truly get to EBITDA positive.
I mean, it looks like you get there without needing much more. Is that why would you raise another round then?
We're a very lean team right now. We're winning business manually. We need to build out. So we got to get production capability going for 3 products. We're really just bringing 1 to production right now, and we need to build a worldwide footprint. Our customers in Europe want to know who their person is in Europe. So it's really about building that for scale, and that's why that follow-on round is important.
And with the product, does that shrink as well? So like that could fit into an automobile at some point, or different sizes, or is that fairly standard?
This is PAL. We have PAL Mini right now that's about 1/4 behind on product qualification, 4.5 centimeters by 5 centimeters, much smaller. Theoretically, the technology can go down, the mirror shape can go down to millimeters. So, we've talked about what's the fit going to be for healthcare, for all these other applications. But the 2 products we're going to production with for 2021 are PAL and PAL Mini.
And how did you pick those markets?
A lot of trial and error. Early on, we were playing around with AR, VR. It wasn't really growing. And what we found was, as we were talking to robotics companies, the fit was just obvious. We didn't have to explain to them. In one slide, our customers go, I get it. And I've been in embedded technology, hardware, software for 20 years. I've never had 100% of our customers say, I get it. They don't all need it. Not every application needs wide field of view. A pick robot that is only looking to be able to pick something out of a bin doesn't need, they might need it for navigation, but they don't need it for picking. But every customer has said, I absolutely get that, that's genius. And I can call it genius because it's not my invention.
Mark, how defensible is this from a proprietary nature, et cetera?
Yeah, so it's, of course, patents are only, people find a way to get around patents. It took about 20 years of innovation and trial and error to finally get And not all by our team, but it's, the theory of this has been around for about 20 years. DREAMVU is the first one to finally get it commercialized. And it's really because the lens shape combined with the software. And that combined takes a long time to figure out. So yeah, we have patents, but it really is a combination of hardware, software to create a non-distorted 360-degree depth view.
And that could be anybody's software with the hardware, or do you have anything special about your software?
Yeah, so the base software that you would need just to run the camera, that's ours. Okay. And then those advanced algorithms we talked about, other companies' software could be used.
So what's the pricing model? So you got a base license at $250K for the software itself.
For the software.
What did the camera?
Yeah, so we manufacture, just to give you an idea on margin, we'll be manufacturing this for about $120 next year. I haven't given a quote out yet that's under $500 per piece.
Got it.
So, very...
And the manufacturing is taking place in India or China?
It's actually in Malaysia. We do some plastic molding in China, but assembly is in Malaysia.
And Mark, for you to hit your 2021 numbers, how many customers need to move from evaluation into actual using the product?
I don't know the number of companies, but I know we set a $5 million design win target. So a design win is take my price times the number of units they say they're going to do in a year, multiply them, and that's the value of the design win. I got to get to $5 million. We're getting close. By the end of this quarter, we'll be at about 1.25 million. We got to close a lot in Q4. The pipeline's there. Summer holidays are over. The evaluations are there. Now we just got to get these companies converted over.
Mark, if you had to run the business on a hardware-only model, let's assume the software becomes commoditized or customers decide to use their own. Can you really run it just on the margins, especially if the margins start to shrink?
Yes. I mentioned our manufacturing cost. The manufacturing efficiencies haven't, at 120, we still have a lot of manufacturing efficiencies to generate. I grew up in the semiconductor world. I've never run a business below 60 points of margin. It's what I do. It's what I know how to do between value and cost management.
And are you seeing most of your customers in person with COVID, or
no.
Is it mostly you're doing this all on video as well?
All on Zoom. So we can do a live demo over Zoom where we'll have one of our technology leads. He has it set up in his home. It's been amazing, and he shows people. What people want to know is the resolution. Okay, so if you're sitting there, can I really see your outline accurately in the depth map, which you can? How far away are you? So how accurate? How does it work in low light? And then latency. How real time is it? And people get blown away. Zoom has its own delays, and people can't believe how fast they're seeing all of this stuff get updated because it's a single camera sensor in there. So we don't have to stitch multi-sensors together to create the image.
Mark, go back to your ask. So we've got a couple minutes left here. You say you're looking to raise 1.5 million.
Yes.
You've got 500,000 secured from your lead investor.
Correct.
They've set the terms. The $15 million cap, $20 million, 20% discount on the note. So I guess this is a convertible note.
Correct.
So there's an ask out there. Don't know if any interest in the Lions.
So it'll convert into the A round?
It'll convert in the A round at a 20% discount to whatever the A round is priced, but at no more than a $15 million pre-money are the terms that their lead investor has set. So they're looking to try to round out another million, and hoping that the Lions might be part of that.
We'd love to have you part of it.
Yeah, I mean, I think I would participate in this.
It's great. We'd love to have you.
Amount you're thinking of?
Probably 50.
Okay.
1,000. And by the way, for our audience, that rumbling we keep hearing is not the L train in North Philadelphia. It's just more Lions outside interested in deals.
So in the last minute I have, is there another answer I can provide that could change some of your Lions' minds?
I guess my only concern is the difference between this being, and it's genius, and I maybe would agree it's genius, but is it a nice to have?
Yeah.
Or is it a must-have?
Yeah.
And that's maybe the difference I see in that.
So that for you, please. At the end of the day, when an autonomous mobile robot's being designed, they're putting vision cameras on the robot. It's a must-have. Today, they might be using 4 or 6 products from Intel, okay, which is cumbersome. It's expensive. It's the wiring harnesses, the compute power required
to get them to coordinate.
You put 1 or 2 of these on, And now you've saved that money. You've reserved so much more compute power for the robot to do what it's intended to do, not just creating vision. So it's an absolute must-have.
So it looks like a CBA where your costs drop a lot.
So it's a replacement market in some ways.
It is. In a market that goes through design cycles every quarter, every month.
All right, last call for our Lions. We've got one Lion in.
I mean, I don't have as much money as Larry.
Okay.
But I'd be willing to maybe put half of what Larry in if there's not a minimum.
Okay.
Would you take that?
I'd like to see you at 50 with Larry.
Like I said, I'm not as wealthy as Larry. So I don't know. I'm a little nervous about the must-have and.
Okay.
Going once, going twice.
I won't bug you.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll take it.
Pretty passive. I'll let Larry know.
You're taking it.
Absolutely.
All right, we'll take it. All right, good.
Thank you.
You're going to pay attention. All right, Lonnie. We're a little gentle with our first entrepreneur. We'll see if you keep that up. But let's bring out our second entrepreneur to present this morning. We have ANAONO CEO Dana Donofree.
I'm Dana Donofree. I'm the founder and CEO of ANAONO, and I'm here to introduce myself and share a little bit about myself with you when I am not working on ANAONO and building our brand. But I went to school at Savannah College of Art and Design. I've lived in New York City, Denver, Colorado, and now happily here in Philadelphia for nearly the last 10 years with my husband and my Ridgeback dog, Hooch. We spend all of our extra time together because we used to enjoy visiting all the great restaurants and all of the city attractions here in Philadelphia. But since we've been incredibly limited on that for the last few months, we're just really enjoying getting out and taking a walk in the morning. And I've also taken up needlepoint to relax at nighttime before I go to bed. So it's official. I'm an old lady, but excited to be here, excited to be at PACT. Thank you all so much. Talk to you soon.
When she was diagnosed, like I told her, I said, you know, Dana, out of lemons, let's make lemonade. So that was the journey she took with ANAONO. Prior to that, she, was a successful student. She worked at several fashion companies. I just always told her to be a sponge, learn as much as you can, because someday you'll have your own business. I mean, who knew? But anyway, I'm glad that the world gets to see her. Experience her art, experience her expression. She's an awesome daughter, an awesome mate, an awesome mentor. Anyone who comes in contact with Dana generally leaves a better person. And I've always told her, follow your heart. This is bad because it always gets emotional. But at the end of the day, she's just a beautiful person inside and out. And that's the best thing that anyone can find out about Dana.
Dana, come on out.
Hello, Lions. Thank you for having me. My name is Dana Donofree, and I'm the founder and CEO of ANAONO, Intimates Designed Differently. I know you may be thinking, here's another bra company, but that's okay, because I'm here to tell you that we've been disrupting the mastectomy bra industry for the last 6 years. And I'm here to show you how we've been able to take market share at an accelerated pace. ANAONO designs intimates for those that have undergone breast surgery, some by choice, some because they're required to after a cancer diagnosis. After a breast reconstructive surgery or a breast surgery, your body is no longer the same. So if your body's different, why would an ordinary bra still work for you? The answer is that it doesn't, it won't, and it can't. What we do is we design all of our bras for these specific outcomes of these surgery decisions. It could be a multitude of different decisions are made during the cancer diagnoses, but also due to elective cosmetic surgery. So really, where are we differentiated? We look not only at the features and benefits that are required for this customer, like underwire-free bras, our proprietary cup fit, or additional materials that stretch and mold in ways different from a molded bra. We look at the lived experience. Cancer is individual, and so is our bras. So if you have 2 breasts, 1 breast, no breasts, or new breasts, we treat you all equally because we believe everybody is different. So we have a 3 different pillar approach to our brand. First of all, it's commerce, content, and community. We're really the only brand in the mastectomy space. Think of Kleenex and tissue. A lot of people make tissues, but you remember the name Kleenex. People remember the name ANAONO. And through our content, we bring in our community members very early on, giving them the information and desires and needs that they need to get through their surgery. We also, obviously, through commerce on e-com, as well as our stores, and through community by working with partnerships like nonprofits and other organizations within our space. So who are we talking about exactly? In the world, there's over 8 million breast cancer patients and survivors. 300,000 are diagnosed annually. Nearly half of them undergo a breast reconstructive surgery. They all face a surgery of some sort. But due to our recent growth, we're actually now expanding into the cosmetic side of the business as well. So we're looking at nearly doubling our annual reach, with over 500,000 women getting elective or cosmetic surgery annually, and that's just here in the United States. So take that 8 million worldwide, quadruple it, or even more. The numbers are hard to find, but know that there's a lot of women with breast surgery out there in the world. So who am I competing with? The mastectomy industry is nearly 40 years old. I think you can tell it here. So we're looking at boring, basic, and even matronly bras. These bras were designed specifically for women only undergoing a mastectomy surgery. So when I told you earlier, our core customer is 2 breasts, 1 breast, or no breasts, I don't necessarily think that society is stuck in the same place that we were 40 years ago when women needed to walk around mimicking their old body under their clothing. So as you can see here, it's a very outdated, sad, may I even dare to say, grandma bra. So where do we really differentiate ourselves? We attract our customer specifically at the point of diagnosis or breast surgery, because there are many needs through the surgery process, treatment, and eventually into the life beyond. So we're really here to be the lifestyle side of this patient and this customer. And what happens, oftentimes people ask me, okay, so fine, Dana, when do they go back to Victoria's Secret? The answer is never. Not unless they want a sports bra that's going to hurt them and fit them poorly. The point being is that your body is changed not just for a moment in time, but for the rest of time. So as you are here living your life fully, you want to not only feel comfortable, but you also want to feel beautiful and sexy. A little bit about me. I started this after my own diagnosis in my mid-20s. I also am an industry professional and have come from the trade experience from a long time. And if you have trouble remembering ANAONO, just know it's my name, Dana Donofree, without the double Ds. It's a little life out there. So from there, I have been in the industry for nearly 20 years. I've grown an account from 15 million to over 30 million in children's accessories, and I did that while undergoing chemotherapy. So I've been here as a part of ANAONO. I've taken it from $10,000 to over $1 million, all within the last 6 years. So how are we doing this? Right now, our revenue is based about 60 to 40% balanced on our B2C and our B2B business. Our goal is to do that as a 70-30 balance, where we make 75% on our e-commerce side and about 40% in our business side. We also have partners like nonprofits, pharma, and other organizations that are not only building us business, but are also acquiring us customers. So how do we do this? We want to make sure that we activate, acquire, and retain our customers, because once you're an ANAONO customer, you should be an ANAONO customer for life. It's not just about meeting us at point of surgery, it's going through all of the phases with us. So we want to make sure that we're acquiring you through, used to be in-person events, cancer conferences, surgical conferences, things like that. We've moved this all digital. We're also making sure that we are giving our customer a lived experience online that they've never had before. So when they're shopping for their body type or their treatment type or their suggestion of bra, we're there providing that difference for them. So you can see here we've had accelerated growth in the last 5 years. COVID's been tough on us, but it's actually improved our business in many other ways. So our store line has actually decreased because stores are obviously closed. Their volumes have scaled down, but in essence, all of those customers are moving to us online. So we're experiencing 2x growth on our .com, and we've actually hit our $1 million revenue rate here in the last 2 months. So what we are looking to raise is 1.5 for a 12 million valuation. We raised a seed round 2 years ago for $600,000 at a 2.75 valuation. And what we're looking to do is obviously use that money to build out our inventory to sustain our growth, continue to market and bring our brand awareness to our customers, making improvements like our website that's literally launching this afternoon, and also to build out a team that is growth-minded individuals and help really build a nice staff that can help improve and scale the business to the speed that we would like to scale. So I know I told you earlier, we're more than just a bra. I hope you see now how we're really, truly making a difference in the lives of those that are diagnosed with breast cancer, knowing that this isn't just a great investment for you, but it's a great investment for women around the world. Thank you so much.
Great, thank you, Dana.
Thank you.
Before we go to the Lions, let's cut to the audience to get their feedback.
Wow, what a personal and company story. I am here live with Paul Marvel, Managing Partner for RSM and Lions Den sponsor. Paul, I want to get your feedback, but let's go to the audience first. All right, on your screen now, menti.com, use the code 6714586. You can find it on the screen. You can also find it in the YouTube chat. All right, while the audience is voting, let's come back to Paul. Paul, what did you think of Dana and the pitch?
Dana, I thought she did an excellent job, and the hearing from her mother was very impactful, knowing her great story of courage and hard work and success, and congratulations to Dana. And very excited to hear from the Lions of what their decision is. But I'm very positive in understanding some of the business case.
Well, I'll tell you, Dana rose up out of almost 50 companies, and not only is she a talented entrepreneur, she really knows how to pitch. So let's go back and see what the audience thinks. Still leaning towards investing. All right, Paul, let's send it back to Mark and see what the Lions are going to do. Mark?
All right, let's get back to it, Lions. So you've heard the pitch, you've heard the ask. I'm sure you've got some questions.
Dana, tell us more about what you'll use the funds for and how you get to the $12 million cap.
So right now, a large use of the funds is building up our inventory base. As you can imagine, at that scale, we need to be improving our inventory stance by quite a bit. So there'll be a portion of that, about 25% of that is used just for inventory to build up the consumer goods, but also a big portion of that is on branding. So where we're starting to see a lot of growth is through the accelerated arm of the plastic surgeries and plastic surgery doctors. So we know that marketing to them, servicing them, and building out that marketing strategy is also going to be a huge piece of us getting our customer very early on in their journey. And then building out our staff with either a COO or an additional second team player to really help me leverage and balance through the growth. So right now, it's really about brand awareness and marketing, because right now we're using a lot of, or we use a lot of the additional funds or the first funds to spread out getting our name out there. But we really need to take that to the next level. Now that we have a better idea of our customer acquisition costs, we know we need about $500,000 to $750,000 to use that scale.
And go ahead. I was just going to say, and then how did you get to the valuation jumped quite a bit from your last round? If you could walk us through the math on that.
Yeah, so we're expecting to see a $10 million revenue in the next 2.5 to 3 years. So we believe a $12 million valuation is a very solid valuation. We do have a lot of acquisitions in our space, and I think that that's really a key for ANAONO, is that we are taking over market share from our competitors. They are taking notice, and seeking us out as a brand acquisition is going to be a very true possibility in the future. So as we continue to capture from them, we need to make sure that we've got our growth substantiated and marketed, because we do believe that an acquisition is in the near future.
Dana, how many mastectomies are done in the United States a year?
So there's 300,000, a little over 300,000 women a year that are diagnosed. About a third of them undergo a mastectomy. About a third of them have a lumpectomy, which is followed by radiation that causes differentiation in the two breast shapes. And then a third of them undergo a reconstructive surgery. So arguably, 2/3 roughly have a mastectomy. Half of them end up with reconstruction. Half of them end up using breast forms.
So my question is, if you look at that as a defined target customer segment, how many of them, after they've tried an ANAONO product, do not use it? Or what's your conversion rate for somebody who actually bought a product to buy multiple?
Do you mean return customers?
Yes.
Yes, so we are about a 65 to 70% rate of return customers. So we acquire about 30% new customers monthly, just due to our scale and digital efforts. So about 70% of our customers are coming back to buy again. Now, if they come back 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, we're still analyzing that data because the conversion rates are growing so quickly, it kind of changes every 3 months.
Right. So what's your cost to make a bra?
My bras are somewhere between $8 and $12 roughly, and they retail between $38 and $54 online.
And what's your your customer acquisition cost?
We're guessing somewhere between $18 and $23 at this point. We have spent a lot of money out in the marketing space due to our first round to acquire the customers. So at first it was about 25, but quite frankly, since we scaled back our marketing since COVID in the last 6 months, we've dropped our acquisition to about 18 to 23, meaning that maybe we were potentially overspending a little bit.
And where are the bras being manufactured?
I manufacture in Colombia, in Medellin, Colombia. So we have a free trade agreement with South America, specifically Colombia. So I actually bring in all of the bras duty free, which also helps improve the margins.
So how does the cost compare to a, let's say, normal bra?
So I'm very middle line. Same price as at Victoria's Secret. I'm neck to neck with my competitor, ANAONO. You know, it's not going to be a bra that you get at Target, but it's not going to be a bra that you get like in a fine French lingerie store. So I would say typically bras go from like $18 to $98. We're in the 50s, so it's pretty middle of the road.
And then the competitors, if I look at the 3 companies you showed, what's like the total revenue, if you have an idea of those 3 companies combined?
So we know that ANAONO has been acquired for $96 million about a little over 10 years ago. They were then shifted off again for an undisclosed amount, so we're not so sure about that. But projecting at least those 3 customers, their annual revenues are probably somewhere between $100 and $150 million.
And when they were bought for $96 million, do you know what their revenue was at that point in time?
It was not published. They do make breast forms as well, which is not something we have entered ourselves into yet. If we think it's an opportunity. So we suspect their bra business was somewhere around $50 to $65 million.
So your bras can be used with their breast forms today?
Correct. So we use most customers use competitive breast forms in our bras, although we do make a thing called a FOOB, which is called a fake boob. So we do have little insert pads, and it's one of our highest volume but lowest priced items.
It seems like one of your big strategies is to go after the plastic surgeons. Is that something that you've attempted? Is it something your competitors are doing? How viable is that as a marketing channel?
It's actually become more viable now that COVID has happened because a lot of the plastic surgeons didn't have anywhere to send their patients. So what has happened due to COVID, I actually had more access to them, which was great. But in reality, they want to service these patients because a patient to a plastic surgeon is more than just a breast surgery. It can turn into other things down the road. So we are now supplying and outfitting plastic surgery offices with our bras to use post-surgical and for follow-up. We are also then looking at even doing a line specifically just for the plastic surgery offices as like an entry point, because they are, I am working with them on price points and things like that so they can actually use them at point of surgery for bras. So there's kind of a debate of having this ANAONO Med portfolio and an ANAONO Lifestyle portfolio. We've been balancing the line for the last few years because I actually didn't mention this, but our bras are covered by insurance. So if you have undergone a mastectomy surgery, you can utilize your health insurance to pay for the bras annually. So it just depends on if you're a cancer patient or an aesthetic patient. So some of the surgeons take advantage of that.
And what percentage of the round has been filled?
Right now, this is our kickoff for the round. Actually, right now we're self-sustaining, so our run rate for how we are operating due to COVID is not necessarily needing a round, but we do know that if we're going to have an accelerated growth, as we've experienced in the last 18 to 24 months, that we are going to want to take an introduction to a new round. So
this is all purely growth capital?
Yes, correct. We will hopefully see a little bit of profit at the end of this year.
So Dana, maybe go back to the slide, one slide with the ass, so just the Lions can see that. Okay. So you're looking to raise 1.5 million. Is this a note, or you're actually looking at this as equity?
We like to do it as an equity round. Mm-hmm.
So when it's a valuation cap, it's not a cap; it's the actual valuation that's your ask.
Right.
Right, because it's not convertible into something. Okay.
Good point. I should have fixed that.
No, that's fine. I just want to make sure everyone's operating on the same.
We were doing a convertible before COVID, and we actually shut it down. So it's a good catch, though.
And what did typical, when you look at companies like if it's Victoria's Secret or some of them, what do they typically trade price to sales? Do you have any idea on that?
Victoria's Secret's margin is probably somewhere between 75 and 85, only because they make really cheap product for a very high price. But industry average is about 75% direct to consumer.
But if you take a look at what their valuation is relative to the amount of revenue that they have, any ideas on whether it's 1 times, 5 times?
We could argue their deal in February that has potentially fallen through with their lack of sales. But at that point, at least for most fashion brands that I've seen, are anywhere 4 or 5x their revenue.
I generally like the idea and want to back it. The valuation just seems too rich.
Okay. We could talk about it. Okay. It's up for negotiation.
Okay, that's fair.
I know it's an art.
It's definitely an art, not a science.
I see you don't like my art. It's okay. I can take that.
Well, I mean, I think it's a great cause too, right? I mean, what you're doing, I think, is not just for business, but it benefits people.
So do you have a counter proposal?
I'm trying to think through. I don't know the market is enough. Trying to. But generally
have do $1.2 million and change this year.
We'll do $1.2 million at the end of this year. Yep, and we've been more than doubling year over year. So we don't.
You're growing faster too. So obviously that would be a.
Exactly. Yeah. COVID's actually improved our business because more of our customers have moved online, which is where we have higher margins. So that's really helped benefit us. We're in Soma stores. We're in 120 of Soma stores. We're sold around the world: New Zealand, Spain, Peru, Honduras. Just to name a few. We have customers around the world, so a lot of this is to put a little bit more beef behind servicing the worldwide customer, not just the woman here in the United States.
Dana, you're so charming. It's so hard to resist your pitch. Like, I'm just sitting here going, I can't even negotiate with you.
Yeah. Could you just call my husband and tell him that?
Like, you're so compelling, so charming. Like, I can't even argue with you. It's like...
What's your time frame to raise this money that you need to do it?
We would like to have it raised by Q1 of next year. So PACT was a really great opportunity for us to kind of kick off the round. But, in full transparency, we weren't intending to kick it off until, start laying out the seeds till the end of this year. So, I think it's great to have the conversations and get this opportunity now because we would like to close it by February or March.
If you were to do some type of note, like would be a discount to that round, I would participate because as you have more people coming in to sort of settle the valuation, just to put money into something at 12 million where you're going to do $1 million this year, it just seems like even higher than software margins.
Right. I'd like to give you some credit for the growth, but credit to the 275 or the 335, not at a 12.
Yeah. So Larry, you're thinking potentially do a smaller piece of that now as a note that would convert into the round, with maybe that being the cap on the valuation, but a discount. So
that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. So how much would you think?
I would do 25 into that. I mean, I think it's a good cause. I was joking with Paul. My daughter made fun of my other daughter when she got her first training bra. We have it on video. She has a whole bra song, so I'll share that with you at some point. It just, I know. It just, I played it for Paul. It was
would
just
there be
hysterical.
any other interest if it was more of a convertible note?
Yeah. So I'll make you an offer. This is a very personal space to me. My wife is a breast cancer survivor, and I spent a lot of time, being an advocate. Within the whole breast cancer community. So this is something that is near and dear to me. So I like the space. I think your valuation is a bit rich, but I'm rooting for you by definition to win. From an investor point of view, I guess my offer would be $100K in a safe instrument, a convertible note.
Okay.
My instinct is we need to work in the valuation cap. It probably needs to be somewhere 10 or below.
Okay.
Right, and we need to put a time frame by which we need to raise the round or drive the conversion at that predefined cap.
Perfect.
Right.
I don't want to commit to a number, but if you do the due diligence, I may join you for exactly the same reasons.
Yeah.
Great.
And I would piggyback but for less.
Yep.
Not at that enormous number, because he's also much wealthier than me.
He's wealthier than both of us.
Yes, that's true. Yes, we couldn't even combine to be honest.
And I
think it's a good cause.
We would do between 25 and 50, but it would be at a lower number.
Okay.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm hearing that a convertible opportunity, a convertible debt round is an opportunity with then a discount on the future Series A round.
With a cap on the.
Right. Correct.
Yep. Absolutely.
I'm hearing that.
I think it's definitely worth a conversation.
I think we can. It sounds like with all these people, you can get probably close to $250 million from this group.
Yeah.
So why don't we do this? First of all, great job, Dana. Thank you. It's a great cause.
Thank you.
We'll have John lead this post the presentation here to come back, and he'll circle back with the Lions. If you two can come to a deal, we'll get the rest of the Lions on board.
Fantastic.
Great.
Thank
All
you guys
right.
so much.
Thank you.
Really
Thank
appreciate
you.
your time.
Well, the whole pride now. You got the whole pride involved.
The Lions did a great job presenting, and John, I thought you came up with an excellent idea in terms of a creative way to bridge that valuation gap that can always exist in these types of proposals. Well, we're now down to our last company that's going to be brave enough to enter the Lions Den. Let's welcome Myota, led by CEO Steve Ray.
Hi, this is Steve Ray. I'm the CEO of Myota, a SaaS-based cybersecurity startup located on the main line. It's great to be at the conference. I'm going to imagine that you didn't expect to hear 3 phrases within one of these profiles: entrepreneur, pop-up, and baseball player. But here I am. Indeed, I've been part of the Philadelphia startup community for the better part of 20 years and lived many of the ups and downs. My wife Linda and I are blessed with 4 children, 3 grandchildren so far, and of course the master of our house, our dog Tucker. And yes, I still play real baseball. You know, I see many similarities between baseball and startups. You've got to really anticipate the next play. At the same time, you've got to learn from every experience. And most importantly, you have to execute in the moment. We're really pleased to be part of this conference. Hope you have a great conference experience, and be well.
Hey, Steve, the kids and I are not surprised at all that you made it to the top 3 of the PACT Lions Den, despite the short notice. But you know, you've always shown us that everything you do, whether it's in your personal life or your professional life, you do with such dedication, passion, and hard work. Whether it's being a great husband, a selfless and supportive dad, a fun-loving pop-up, a loyal brother and friend, or even a competitive baseball player, you always give it more than 100%. So good luck today. Know that we love you and how proud we are of you.
Steve, come on out.
Thank you, Lance. Great to see you. So it's my pleasure to introduce you to Myota. And you're probably asking yourself, what's Myota? Well, Myota is actually, what it does is actually captured in the name. My, as in you're in control as a user, and iota, the smallest fragment of any compound. I'll dive into what exactly that has to do with this product's unique profile in just a moment. But I'd first like to introduce you to the Myota team. Over 100 years of product development, successfully bringing SaaS products to the market, and entrepreneurial spirit that's focused upon innovation and growth. So 2020, what a year, one for the ages. And a lot of themes have started to emerge about this year. I always joke that it feels like every week I'm checking the box in an apocalyptic blackout bingo game or something. But realistically, 2 themes that have arisen are immunity and resilience. Who couldn't use more of either one? But in the cybersecurity world, immunity and resilience have become the dominant themes. Since March of this year, a 400% increase in cyber attacks at the business level, driven by the fact that there is an 800% increase in ransomware attacks on US businesses alone. And that is really where Myota is going to focus, because ransomware is a core threat to businesses today. Why? Because of cloud migration. How many businesses are focused on that? About 9 out of 10. Ironically, about 5% of that data is adequately protected. So no great surprise, about 3/4 of the time, a ransomware attacker is successful in encrypting the data that they seek. The frequency is frightening. By next year, every 11 seconds, there'll be a ransomware attack in the US against a business. And the cost of that is escalating at about 1/3 per year. And that's where the magic of Myota comes in. If you change the data, you change the rules. Myota is a dual-layer cybersecurity and cyber resilience platform. We protect at the device level, and we protect at the storage level. It's a patent-pending shred and spread technology. Those little iotas are data shards that we make it as though you're destroying
the document, destroying the data, but we don't. We just make it impenetrable to an attacker. Useless, basically. And that in and of itself is powered by an intuitive end-user experience. But on the other end, the administrator gets very high visibility, fine-grained control over the configuration of the devices, the users, the storage, and all the other things that matter to them to get control back of that organization and that data. And we have an ecosystem vision that will drive enormous value for investors and enormous value for our customers. As I stated, immunity and resilience are our themes, and we'll focus on 3 key business needs. Ransomware, cloud failure, which, by the way, an hour of a cloud failure, about $85,000 worth of loss of business continuity to the average business, and good old-fashioned data breaches. Brute force, man in the middle, and many others that still have alarming frequency. But we are going to focus even tighter at our initial launch because there's an unmet need that is common in most businesses today and is going to be rampant as digital transformation continues, and that's unstructured data. The working documents that you use in all of your businesses, I'm sure, all the time. Spreadsheets, HR reports, business plans. Access inside, controlling that is tough enough. Letting it outside, toxic. And that's where we'll focus. It's on the front burner of CISOs, front burner of CIOs. Therefore, we believe we have C-suite access and C-suite attention. Security officers want to make sure that their data is exponentially secured and that they have visibility on it. CIOs want control and restoration capability to keep the business running. And you no longer are seeing cybersecurity as a back burner issue with CEOs and CFOs. Cannot afford to have that mindset. The market, this is not hyperbole, $75 billion addressable market in just what I've mentioned alone. And we will be introducing in 2021 an AI engine that will open up another $30 billion market opportunity to Myota. Why an AI engine? Because that's exactly the tool the attackers are using every day. You have to fight fire with fire. Our positioning will be to mid-market and large cap enterprises, focusing on the CIOs and CISOs. We will look at 4 verticals initially: financial services, insurance, also accounting and legal, life sciences, education, and energy present an additional long-term opportunity for us. All of these industries index at 85% or higher in their amount of data under management being unstructured data. When we look at our model, it's a 3-pronged penetration approach. Inside sales to go to large cap enterprises, using mid-market partners, managed security service providers, and value-added resellers to take us to where they play and put us in their toolkit. And then last but not least, exponential growth by making us embedded in ecosystem partners. The people who run the cloud, who run the apps, and who run the drives that we would be embedded in. If you look at our financials, basically that model marches us through to a gross profit break even in the middle of 2021. We hit about $1 million at the end of that year. And then the exponential growth comes from new releases of capabilities, the AI engine, the analytics, et cetera. We're pricing at the device level. So it's a SaaS model that basically says as we start to ramp through 100,000, 200,000, 600,000, and 1 million devices, you start to see these numbers. The average price per user is in the $12 to $18 range per year. Puts us right into the sweet spot of where most of these solutions are. Our funding was originally a preferred seed round at $2.1 million. It's got the core development accomplished. We're currently in the middle of raising a round that's at $1.2 million under a $3 million note. The board of directors is willing to also look at entertaining a syndicated approach to an equity priced round at this point. As it relates to something that might be near and dear to Lions, what's the exit strategy look like? We believe there's 3 different ways to go at it. You see aggregators all over cybersecurity right now. Why? Because the average company has 40 plus cybersecurity solutions. They'd rather get them from 3 to 5 providers, if possible, and we're starting to see that movement. We would be a unique patent pending opportunity for an aggregator to bring something else into their offering. Secondly, those ecosystem players, the Microsofts, Googles, et cetera, of the world, who are looking to have embedded security into their ecosystem. And last but not least, private equity or an IPO. We're seeing multiples in the 20s right now for high growth companies in cybersecurity, but even moderate growth companies are in the high single digits in terms of returns. So with that in mind, Myota's here. Myota's ready to come to market at the end of this year. We look forward to having the backing to make sure we do it with the impact that we anticipate and envision. Thank you for your time.
Great. Thanks, Steve. And before we go to the Lions, we're going to cut to the audience to get their feedback.
All right. First off, spoiler alert. This episode is supersized and it's going to end a little after 11:30, but I promise you're going to want to hang in there to the end. I'm joined by Debbie O'Brien, Market Executive and Head of Community Engagement for our latest Lions Den sponsor, Bank of America. Welcome, Debbie.
Hi. Hi, Dean. How are you?
So before I get your feedback, Debbie, let's go to the audience. Let's see what they think. Again, audience, go to menti.com, put in the code 6714586 and vote. What would you do? Would you invest? Would you pass? Or something in the middle? Let's go back to Debbie. Debbie, Steve's an experienced entrepreneur. He's led a lot of companies. What did you think of his pitch?
He sure has. And I love hearing the personal stories behind all of these pitches. And as Steve notes, cybersecurity is certainly an area where all companies are investing more, not less. But I would imagine it's a crowded space. And so I'd be interested to hear the Lions Den approach on that.
Maybe Bank of America will play a role in some diligence. But let's see. Before we go back to send it back to Mark, let me also remind the audience that immediately following the Lions Den, you can move to the Remo Room for live networking. Look in the YouTube chat for the link if you did not get that personally into your inbox this morning. Again, the Remo Room will be live immediately following the Lions Den. Now let's send it back to Mark to see what they do. Mark?
All right, let's get back to it. So Lions, you've heard Steve's presentation going after the cybersecurity market. I'm sure you've got questions.
I mean, it's a big market, we all agree, but it's really, really crowded. Mm-hmm. I mean, just because you got a patent pending, you know, what's really the differentiator? Because there's a lot of really good products that are not taking off because it's just such a crowded space.
Sure.
What's the differentiation?
The differentiation is in the system and the methods that we're using. So there's no middleware. Okay. There's no external storage. This is controlled by the user. It's easily provisioned at the administrative level to groups, the entire company, et cetera. You drag and drop a folder, you know how to use Myota. There are no other high degree security, enterprise level security solutions that are as easy to adopt, that provide this level of protection at both the device and the storage level, and can integrate with other systems that already exist.
And you're targeted some very large companies and sophisticated industries like financial services. What kind of customer feedback have you gotten early on from those customers about, a mass adoption of something like this?
Fantastic question. The main thing that we are doing right now is we are actively in a sandbox. So we are allowing those customers to use our product in a controlled environment. We are using that feedback to inform our trial, which will occur in November of this year, as a launch that will lead to that adoption. We have spoken with some of the largest CISOs. In fact, our advisory board has several very large CISOs and CIO players on our team, and they have advised us in terms of product development and this adoption curve. So that's why we're taking the sandbox approach.
And then who do you see as your main competitor?
Main competitor is going to be object storage on the back end, but we have several advantages over that in that there are other middleware components or external drives that are required to make that work. And frankly, it's a heavy lift to install. We literally could have a user up and running in less than 5 minutes using Myota, and an administrator up and running in less than a half hour.
And it would be a total replacement of that product, or would be used in
It could be integrated.
With?
In fact, what we would do is at first likely replace some of the antiquated on-prem backup that goes with object storage, and then ultimately we would carve out share from object storage.
Got it.
But again, a $6 billion subcategory into itself.
Yep.
Sweet. That's good. So we looked at acquiring a company last year that worked in our space, but also had a technology on the database side to do the shredding and putting back together again. One of the issues, one of the reasons we passed is just because of speed. So as you start to do that, how do you differentiate with that?
I was hoping somebody would ask that question. So the patent pending aspect of Myota has in part to do with, I talked about a methodology. The methodology here is that we use two distinct forms of random distribution. One is intended to provide exponential information security. The other is to address the issue of latency. The bottlenecks come from the caching that occurs as you come back to reconstruct. It's not the case with Myota, and that's part of what we've established our patent platform on.
And is it a business process methodology patent, or is it something a little bit stronger?
It's a pure invention software patent, and there are two distinct front-end independent claims and 13 dependent claims.
And is the technology, is there still a relationship with Princeton? Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Of course. The Princeton relationship is a 20-year exclusive license on all forms of the proof of concept that we license there. It is not an equity agreement. It is a royalty agreement against milestones, 4%. That has all assignability, has no constraints upon any other future deals.
And what happens after 20 years?
The inventor, by the way, is our head of engineering.
Steve, you got a reputation of going into companies, building companies, getting out. Why did you pick this company out of all the opportunities you had?
Yeah, I think it's a great question, because if you look at my background, and I don't want to dislocate my shoulder, pat myself on the back, but I'll take a little bit of credit for being somebody who's always pushed digital transformation, whether it was in healthcare, or whether it was in data, or the whole aspect of it. The unfortunate outcropping of digital transformation at the enterprise level has been creating the world's largest, fastest growing enterprise, cybercrime. And so as I've watched the outcropping of digital transformation, I realize it's also got the potential to paralyze businesses. I was exposed to the Princeton technology about 1.5 years ago. And at first I was skeptical. I brought in experts that I knew from my previous roles, and they are the major players within large organizations that are charged with protecting their data. I asked them on a 1 to 5 what they thought the impact was. Their score blew me away, and they said, I can show you how to make it a 5. That's what's helped to inform.
Did you put any of your own money in it?
I did not.
And what % of the company do you own?
I currently have options at about 4.5%.
4.5%?
Yeah.
So Steve, what's the growth model? How do you drive the sales momentum you had in your forecast?
Sure. I think that we go in with reference customers in the sandbox, right? We go in at first with mid-cap players. Those deals right now are projected to be somewhere between $70,000 and $100,000. We can enter with the managed security service providers at deals that would be in the $25,000 to $50,000 per year, and use those as our reference contracts to begin to get us to the broader market. What we ultimately see is that our average deal size would be between $150,000 and $500,000, and using the ecosystem partners is where we start to drive volume. So that's our play. Longer tail on the inside sales to large companies, faster cycles, lower price points to the mid-cap through our value-added resellers.
In the last 30 days, what's the first thing you thought about Myota when you woke up in the morning?
Data science. Fastest growth will be data science. As soon as we have third-party APIs ingested into our system, everyone will want a piece of Myota.
So talk a little bit about that, because I think Paul raised a really important point. In most large enterprises, they're trying to consolidate the number of vendors they have. And there's certainly a lot of sprawl in terms of their security platforms within most large enterprises. So what I'm trying to unravel in my mind there is, how does Myota interact with all of the other enterprise security platforms that exist within the enterprise? And if I'm a chief information security officer, how am I thinking about this relative to different things running within my enterprise and managing that?
I would think that question is going to come up as a secondary question, based upon the research that we've done to date. And the reason being is that if a ransomware attack hits, my first question isn't how many vendors do I have? My first question is, what did they get? With MyOTA, they got sand. Secondly, if they get my storage environment, what did they get? What do they control? How am I disrupted? If the data is saved in that cloud or that on-prem storage in MyOTA, you didn't disrupt anything. I can replicate it from the other storage areas that have used MyOTA and distributed those shards. But to answer your question directly, this is an integrated file system. It could work with the drives that already exist at the device level. And secondly, bring your own storage. There is no integration factor here. We simply work within the ecosystem that they have. We will make SIM work better. We will make the object storage work better. And we'll make DLP work better. So I don't see us as a rip and replace initially. I see us, however, expanding our footprint over time as that data source starts to show the value of what MyOTA truly brings in terms of their visibility and their control over that environment.
Steve, going back to the ask slide,
Sure.
What was the? So I think you said you've raised some money towards this round. So what is the raise that you're looking at now?
The available under cap right now is 1.8. We were asking for 1.5 because we also have some other folks in diligence right now.
Okay.
Yes.
So you have 300. You're saying of the
under consideration.
Under consideration. And this is a note.
It's a note. It is a 20% discount in the next round of equity, 7% interest.
And what's the cap?
Annually. The cap, it was based on 2018 valuation. The max cap is 30 million. The original preferred was 20. The board
this is a down round in effect.
The board is completely open to a discussion with the syndicate around either a priced round or participation in the note.
Okay, just slow down on that a second.
Yeah, sure.
How much has exactly been raised so far?
There's 2.1 in the original preferred.
So that's
seat.
the one that was raised last year. That's still
that
open.
was in 2018.
That's still open. You're
that's
using.
Close. That's close. We use that.
And what was the valuation on that? Because I
was
can't
20
see.
million.
That was at 20.
Yes.
Post or pre?
Pre.
So it was 22.1 post.
Approximately, yes.
You're now raising 1.1. How much?
We have raised 1.1. We're 1.1 into this $3 million note.
You're raising 3 million. 1.1 is.
Okay.
So you're doing
You're trying to fill out the $3 million note.
Correct.
Got it.
You're doing a rolling raise of a note.
Got it.
And the cap on this note is
30.
It was originally 30, yes.
And how much? And what's your burn right now?
Our burn is about 110 a month.
And how much do you have in the bank?
We have about 250 in the bank, 300.
You're not desperate, but you can start to sort of smell the desperation. Okay.
Well, we have inside sources that are going to keep us going. That's for sure.
So it's at that time, Lions, whether or not you've got some interest. So there's a $3 million note, 1.1 that's been funded, discount 20%. There's a cap of the $30 million, he's saying.
Is your ARR already sold for 21? The 951?
For 21?
Yeah.
No.
It hasn't been
We're
sold.
pre-rev. We are pre-rev.
Yes. No.
So I think there's two pathways here, Lions. There's the idea of participating in the note at the current terms, or the openness of our board to entertain an alternative offer against some other framework of pricing as a note or as a priced equity round. Bringing a syndicate to the table is certainly a discussion that we've already had.
Yeah, I mean, I love the space. I think it sounds like the technology is exciting. My concern is, based on where we're at, the amount of money that's going to be needed to go to market is probably a lot more than that. It's just a crowded space, and you got to differentiate yourself. And a lot of great products are just never going to make it to the market because there's just so much activity, and I don't see.
So you in or out?
I'm out.
Yeah, I like the fact that you've solved some of the speed question with the shredding, but I would agree with Paul, just the crowdedness of the space, the type of salespeople you're going to need to sell this, and the length of the sales cycles into some of the areas that you're looking at is probably going to take a lot more time and money than I'm out.
You're out.
It's too rich for us. We're out.
John?
So I'm intrigued by the space. I think it's a high return opportunity. It's a very exciting space. I think what what my colleagues here have identified represent the execution risk of making it happen. So I'm really interested in learning more. Like I don't know that I have enough data to really feel convinced around a 30 million cap at the moment to enter into the. So I'll be in the category of I want to learn more.
Great. So out as of today.
Yes.
Rudy?
Talk to me later, but I'm out for now.
Okay. Steve, thank you very much for presenting. It sounds like you've at least piqued the interest of two of the Lions who have deep tech backgrounds, so I'll let you guys follow up offline, but thank you for coming and, listen, just like the real show, it's tough. I mean, you got 15 minutes to try to convince people on a very complicated project, but, at least got their interest, so hopefully maybe something will work out behind the scenes. So thank you for coming.
Great. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Very good job.
Great.
If you decide to follow up, I'm.
These things are tough, and cybersecurity is a crowded space. But I like what they're doing in ransomware.
I love what they're doing. I mean, it's just.
Yeah, I think maybe it's the 15-minute window that's challenging. I like that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Kind of hard to dialogue.
Thank you for your efforts today. We got two companies funded. One that is that's intriguing. So we'll see where that leads. I think we picked 3 great finalists. So thank you for your efforts.
Great work.
Round of applause.
Thank you.
What a great Lions Den. You can really learn a lot from actually watching how deals are made. I'm Paul Marvel. I'm the managing partner for operations in Philadelphia for RSM. I also lead our Northeast region for audit. RSM is the 5th largest accounting, tax, and consulting firm in the United States. We're in over 120 countries, and we focus on being a first choice advisor in the middle market. And I'm also very happy and delighted to be with our co-sponsors of the Bank of America and Cozen O'Connor. On behalf of RSM, we'd also be very happy to provide our services to the Lions. We just saw a great session. Thank you to the Lions.
I was asked to come back and help our firm develop a cloud accounting practice. The name of the division is EisnerAmper Cloud Accounting. We provide cloud accounting services for small to mid-sized businesses. It includes everything from entry-level bookkeeping, bill pay, accounts receivable management, reporting analytics, consolidation, multi-currency. I think the thing that's unique about EisnerAmper is that we kind of bridge the gap between personal wealth and business wealth. So, I like to say we take care of small companies and their owners. I mean, we also take care of public companies as well. We are a big firm, but we really come down market very well and give the small business, complete support. At the core of our offering is Xero. It's a great application that can connect to whatever we'd like it to connect it to. Some of our go-to apps are Bill.com and Expensify and Gusto. Those seem to be on most of our client implementations. But we also, depending on the industry you're in, we work with other third-party apps that are available on the Xero store. So there's project management type time capture systems. We do a lot in financial services. Our offering is very different. In the beginning, the first call with the client, we have a project manager as part of the team who actually leads the first couple months of the implementation of the solution.
So one of the great things about the EisnerAmper Cloud Accounting is because everything is automated and streamlined, and we have an extremely close relationship with these clients, we're available to advise them in their needs for growth, for finance, any expansions or mergers and acquisitions that they may be interested in as they go through their business cycle and through their successes. The most rewarding part of my job at EisnerAmper is seeing our clients grow and succeed.
I am here with our host sponsors from EisnerAmper. Pat and Paul, what do you think of what just happened, what we just saw on the Lions Den?
I thought it was incredible, Dean. I thought all companies did a great job. I thought my IOTA, DREAMVU, and ANAONO all were fantastic. I thought it was outstanding.
Pat?
I agree. I think it was exciting, it was energizing, and I really look forward to all of their continued growth and watching them prosper.
Well, I'll tell you what, a little inside secret for people that are watching. We don't often talk about this because of confidentiality, but a lot of our entrepreneurs from the Lions Den have gone on to raise even more than the commitments that they get on stage. And I think that there's a good chance that a couple of the companies we saw today have that happen.
That's exciting.
I wouldn't be surprised. I thought they were great presentations.
So listen, I can't let this end without thanking you sincerely as the co-chairs and the host sponsor of this Capital Conference in 2020. It wasn't exactly what you thought about at the beginning, but we did this virtually. We did it as a series with 10 episodes, finalizing today with the Lions Den. It was a unique experience. You both brought incredible leadership to that process, along with your team from Eisner, which is really deep and really strong. So I want to thank you on behalf of PACT, on behalf of our board of directors, which Pat sits on, for all that you did to make this conference a real success. What were your takeaways, Paul, from this experience, different than obviously a one-day live event?
Yeah, it was interesting. Let me just start by saying Eisner-Amper was proud to be the host of the conference this year. I think this year was a year of disruption, change, and innovation. And when we started talking about this back in October last year, we thought we were going to be having a live event. And we had to quickly then pivot with everything going on with COVID and go to this virtual event. And I thought it was a great conference. I thought we were able to recruit talent from all over the country. I thought that we're able to watch the videos, I mean, at our convenience. And I also thought the Remo room was terrific. I thought the networking was fantastic. I thought, being able to go into that room and move from table to table was really great technology.
Incredible. And Pat, you talked about just the on-demand nature of what we created. We went from a full-day conference to thinking, okay, we're doing this for Netflix-like viewers. How was that experience?
It was excellent because, in the past, we would have to make choices. You could go pick one track and go in that room and watch the presentations, and the featured company presentations, which are such a big part of the conference, were amazing. And now we get to kind of attend every single presentation for every company, and not only can we do it once and watch it live, but then we can also go back and replay it. And to me, that's the benefit, and it was wonderful, and it was the most exciting part about the conference leading up to the Lions Den.
Well, I'll tell you what, we've seen more participation in this year's Capital Conference than we have seen ever in 26 years of doing this, because of exactly that. People have been participating live, as they will today, and they're watching it on demand over and over. It actually makes our Capital Conference a year-round event. And so we're going to continue to push that out to the benefit of the entrepreneurs. And we had some just absolutely incredible companies and entrepreneurs pitch this year. So once again, thank you. Thank you for your leadership, for Eisner-Amper's leadership.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dean.
Wow. The Lions Den was the final episode of the Capital Conference series, and it did not disappoint. Eisner-Amper did an incredible job as our host sponsor. And as you know, it took a huge team to pull this off. And I want to thank our incredible sponsors, starting off with our featured company sponsors, EY, Fox Rothschild, and Morgan Lewis. Our panel sponsors, Blank Rome and Independence Blue Cross. Our titanium sponsor, KPMG, and our specialty sponsor, Baker Tilly. Our investor outreach sponsor, Bridge Bank, and our entrepreneur outreach sponsor, Dwayne Morris. Both of these organizations really helped us to expand the horizons of the Capital Conference well beyond the greater Philadelphia region. I want to thank our gala sponsors, Grant Thornton and Troutman Pepper, and last but not least, our Lions Den sponsors. Once again, Bank of America, Cozen O'Connor, and RSM. We thank them all. Just like your favorite series, the Capital Conference is not over. It is going to be a living, breathing opportunity for PACT to connect entrepreneurs and investors throughout the year. We look forward to producing the next series for you and sharing more details on how you can stay plugged in to the community that we continue to build and support. We're grateful for your support and thankful for your participation throughout the Capital Conference series. Thank you.